Nephilim, you have no idea how long I've waited for this moment.
You abandoned your realms, left the people to die. There were rumors you died in battle.
So you heard. Good, good. I couldn't risk having you interrupt me, not when there was so much to do.
Nephilim.
Impossible! I killed you!
He has died and been reborn many times over the epochs, when there has been a need for him.
Tell me why you're here.
Because the ritual demands it. Each step being marked pure, corrupting flesh to birth the Titans, even controlling the mind of Mortis so you'd sacrifice the life of a goddess on angelic ground.
Ilian, for years we've heard how Mortis's control over her people has been waning.
Every step a part of the ritual. When it is complete, I will learn the true name of the High Father. I will speak it, and he will be commanded.
Commanded to do what?
To set holy fire to the world so that only the pure survive. There's only one thing left to do. The final step in the ritual.
This is insane! Even if your plan worked, you'll die alone with everyone else.
You heard Pirafet. Nothing saves this world from suffering. Nothing but the High Father. It is too late for me, and it is too late for you. But with us dead, with all of us finally dead, those that live a life of peace will be liberated of the past. Is that madness? No war, no suffering, just a world bequeathed to those most deserving of it.
You said there was a final step in this ritual.
Yes, the thing I've needed since sending you to the Church of St. Darchild over 10 years ago. It was there I'd finally found you, my Nephilim. This is from the vaults of Barat Nor. It is the dagger of Uru. I must draw the blood of the last Nephilim with this blade and feed it to the mana of the Nexus. Then the ritual will finally be complete.
Whatever you're planning, the Lows in the Castle Hale had nothing to do with it. Why abandon them?
They were a waste. We had to centralize our forces if we were to take the Nexus. And the ritual required souls. Many, many souls.
The Emperor gifted you his realm on a platter, and you killed him!
The ritual demanded it. The Tower of Mizrael was the last beacon of hope for the Empire. So said the commandment. From the beacon of hope must the last Emperor fall.
Enough talking. Stand and fight.
Proselyte, attack! Seize this! I made you! You were born to die by my hand!
What?
I am the one who called on your mother to destroy Nivendar centuries ago. Not the High Father, me! Just as I am the one who sent your beast of a father to stop her. This ritual has been epochs in the making. You slipped from my servant Veron, from the Inquisitor Regent, like some lowly rat crawling on her belly. No more! I am Catanira, Queen of the Angels Profane. This is our world. We are the true gods. I am your creator. Feed the blade of Uru your blood. Die for me!
Enough lies, Catanira. My parents were the angel Inoel and the Lord Horus. They loved each other, and they love me.
Love is the veil we use to disguise our worst desires. The angels of the four heavens would never accept a Nephilim. Your father was dead. Your mother left with no choice but to give you up. And so you return to the bosom of this world, my world, and the hunt for your blood began.
If this ritual destroys the world in flame, it will destroy you with it.
No, Bethrezed created this world for the High Father, but it is I who am her rightful queen. The gods and mortals have sullied her sweet body long enough. I will speak the name of the High Father. I will command him to set this place ablaze. And I will rebuild her as she was meant to be.
Look at yourself, Catanira. Look what you've become.
This is what I've always been, you fool. I am a queen! Varan was my duke, reigning over Varan Ta'or. But I was queen of the angels profane. Ilion was my home, a home you stole from me. But it will be mine again.
You want my blood? Come and get it.
I cannot be stopped.
Abby, you alright?
Regret later, act now.
You know, I finally think we've done enough acting for this lifetime and the next. Not that I'm particularly excited to start the regret part.
There's still the matter of what to do with this place. The power of the Nexus drove the world mad.
We should do something with the Dagger of Uru, too. It's a little too important to leave lying around.
The dagger was hidden in Barrett Nor before Catanira found it. I don't like the idea of returning it.
I'll toss it in the mana flow. If it's hot enough to burn up whatever Catanira was, it's definitely hot enough to melt a blade. And the Nexus?
The Nexus is home to the power of the gods themselves. It's our burden to claim this place and guard it. In the name of Ilion.
Oh, smart. The one who controls the Nexus controls the world.
Glad you approve. It so happens I'm getting the hang of making world-altering decisions. Sometimes.
Actually, one more thing. Catanira was following the ritual written in a grimoire. This grimoire.
After everything we've been through, every hardship suffered, you haven't changed one bit. Well done, old friend. Very well done.
My stubborn refusal to grow is my best quality. And you? How has Aviana the Liberator changed?
When we were young, I always felt like an outcast, like some freak. I never dreamed people would one day look to me as their leader. Yet here we are. My only goal now is to honor that. To be the leader people see when they look at me, and to make Nevendar the place we always wished it would be.
So began the Epoch of Heathens. From far and wide, the denizens of Nevendar flocked to Ilion seeking refuge. The war had not been kind. Mercifully, the new epoch began with a tenuous peace. The races of the world would convene under one banner, yours. Free of the chains of its past, Nevendar would become the world you'd promised to make it. One of freedom, one of heart, one of liberation. Through it all, however, was Orion, new leader of the reborn empire and in many ways the person you most trust on Nevendar. Over your many years as friends, the bond between you became a symbol of peace for future generations of the Empire and of Ilion. Together, you clumsily handled the expectations of onlooking dignitaries with a fumbling sort of grace. And it was glorious, if not a little more drunken than a standard affair. Years pass. Nevendar is slow to change, but you are patient. And through that patience you would come to see a new world born. From the southern wastes to the tips of the northern ranges, there was not a realm unaffected by your rule. Guarding the Nexus proved a daunting task, though a necessary one. Its power remained in your hands, and with it, you controlled the world. Any who opposed you would soon learn that Ilion was both a home and a monolith casting its shadow across the land. With the elves fought back from the Lows and the Second Woken pushed from the Castle Hale, the bastions of the old empire rose again. Together, you and Orion traveled to the Lows often, every occasion fountaining into a celebration of drink, dancing, and laughter. Though you preferred to be called Avi, the people of this new empire insisted on calling you Empress. Reintegration of the Vale's many troops took years, and it was not without pain. But as the last of the Titans died, so too did the nightmare they wrought. You sent troops of Second Woken hordes to Greyleaf to guard the throne of Korsal. Should any god choose to stand against you, the throne would be their prison. The same became true of the Hall of Souls. Its bricks grew full of those mortals foolish enough to question you. Supplanting the Council of Six as leader of the Second Woken was a difficult choice, but one you would honor. Ghouls from Greyleaf to Queen's Nest flocked to you, and you were happy to meet them. With their necromancers, you rose the corpse of the Beast of Galleon from its decomposed state, preferring to ride it as your trusty steed. As for the Legion, they came to accept your rule over the path of flesh and flame. They marched to Ilion seeking a permanent alliance. You were happy to accept, though not everything in the Unholy Realms was so grim. The Festival of the Molten Moons raged on in Hurek, an eternal celebration held in your honor. Elsewhere, the Elven clans ceased their raids and took their place as allies of Ilion, governing the Whitelands and Wotan's grave from their true home in Atelian. So honored were you among their people, even the blood trees bowed to you in respect. So went the races of the world. But in the end, it was the intimate moments that mattered most. Coruscant happily assumed the role of High Priestess. She held mass in Ilion, praying for every race, even those least deserving of it. Belendrak grew old, as did his cubs. Soon they had cubs of their own. It was not the caretaker's life he'd hoped for, but it was life just the same. There were many ways to avoid death on Nevendar, but none so reliable as having a friendship with Edgemar the Crow. There were many times he'd find himself in a position to save you from the brink. And he did. Though her mortality always haunted her, Elmiran felt safe with you, as did her falcons. They made a strange family, but what family isn't strange, really? Or Mariel's life would always be full, and the people who needed her always demanded more. But Ilion was her home, and she longed to return every time she was away. Though most in Ilion rightly feared Charlea, you grew to see her in a different light over the years. Unless, that is, you walked in on her during a feed. Years would pass with Sebastian, the rightful king of the Hail, as your dear friend and mentor. When he finally breathed his last breath, it was a peaceful one, with you by his side. Though Bagthal continued to fight proudly in your honor, the ghosts of his past haunted him. He would rise at night, screaming her name. Sometimes you could swear you'd hear her answer. It would be a long reign over Ilion, and eventually, Nevendar. There would be more loss and more loves along the way. But your life would be full. The people of Ilion would be safe. And until the epoch's end, Nevendar would be liberated.
My child of sky. Aviana, can you hear me?
Inoel. Mother. Yes, I hear you, but I don't know where you are.
Time is short, and we must go unseen. Purifet the Fate Hand has made a mistake. We are using our might across the four heavens to reset time. We have to send you back.
Send me back where?
To the beginning. To change the choices that undid the liberation of the world. You must let Katanira draw your blood from the dagger. Katanira was meant to speak the name. She must speak the name.
The world is liberated from Katanira. She was going to invoke the name of the High Father.
No, not the High Father. A creature far, far older. The true battle for liberation must begin again.
Ori, you all right?
What? Oh, Avi. I thought you were a church guard.
I don't know what's worse, your snoring or this stench. How can you sleep down here?
I can sleep and drink anywhere. It's a gift. What time is it?
It's just past twilight. Wait, Ori, this has happened before.
Us doing a contract, me falling asleep in the sewer, and you coming to wake me up? Probably.
No, I mean this exact thing. We've been in this sewer, below the Church of St. Darchild.
Yeah, about that. How are we gonna do this? Kill the priest, I mean.
Something's off. I can't put my finger on it, but it's like I'm trapped in a dream. I feel like we shouldn't be here.
We're about to get paid for the biggest contract of our lives. I don't want to do this either, Avi. But what choice do we have?
What choice?
Maybe I'm the one who should have asked if you're all right.
The rat who's been crawling our sewers reveals herself.
Your name is Sebastian. We were sent by someone to kill you. What was her name? Bethrazen.
May his holy peace bring us together, Nephilim. Come, stay with me a while. You appear tired.
Bethrazen, I have been here before. We have done this before. See me. Remember.
Planewalker, the bridge between. The many, you hunt the mother.
And I am here again. I don't understand. I feel like my fate is just beyond my reach. I can feel it, but I cannot see it.
You cannot see the thing you're within. The mother is everything. The Nexus will be ready. Let the Profane One draw your blood. Let her speak. The cycle will end. The next epoch will finally, truly begin.
The plains will be fed with my blood. Draw what you will. Invoke the end times. It will not matter. I am Aviana, child of iron and sky. I am the Liberator. I invoke my name. Let the gods hear me. Let them tremble. Now, you want my blood? Come and get it.
Proselyte, attack! I cannot be stopped.
Cut.
Zudo Lare Eddie.
Xudalare Eddie. Hey Ori, is everyone all right?
Sure. Just when I thought this couldn't get weirder. Where are we?
My mother. Ori, my mother was sent here to destroy the world.
This is the Temple of Ascension?
But that's just it. She never intended to destroy it. She used the temple like a beacon to draw something here.
To draw what? And how do you know that?
You're just gonna have to trust me.
The Fate Hand's role is to guide you away from me, Aviana of Iron, Aviana of Sky.
You know me.
In the cosmos, Nivendar is infinitesimally small, and you smaller still. But you are essential. If you are here, then the Fate Hand betrayed me, or failed me. This means you are here to kill me.
Who are you? Or what?
I am the mother of all gods. The High Father is my son. He must return to his mother.
I don't understand what you mean. The High Father must return to you?
Gods do not eat, we devour. I will devour him. I will devour all. I will devour you. I will devour your gods. All will be consumed.
I don't understand. We were in the Nexus.
On this plane, you are at the Temple of Ascension. On every other plane, you have failed in your task to slay me, and are already dead.
Can you even die?
If a god is omnipotent, it can do anything. But if a god is immortal, it cannot die. Therefore, a god cannot be both immortal and omnipotent. I choose omnipotence over immortality. as will you when the time comes.
I won't let you devour anything. I don't know how, but I will stop you.
For millions of years, I moved the stars, moons, and planets. I birthed Bethresen, and from the wreckage of dead worlds, he built Nevendar. Gods would be drawn to its power like moths to a lamp. From that power, the Fate Hand Pirafet formed Katanira, an easily manipulated creature with a will to invoke the High Father's name. Instead, I willed that she invoke mine. So she formed you. And for the first time in my existence, my name was spoken. I am called, I answer, I devour.
We did it.
All of that was to conjure that thing and destroy it. Katanira thought she was calling the High Father, but she'd been lied to. It was the name of the Mother.
With the gods' machinations undone, we are finally free to define our own fate.
If I died today, I think I might die having seen everything.
We are chained to our pasts. The chains are broken.
So much destruction, just to feed the appetites of the indifferent.
A shame Mortis is gone. I imagine raising this god from death would be... interesting.
Even when alive, we are nothing but carrion for greedy gods. I say, kill them all.
If she was a god, surely she cannot die. Can she?
I understand her hunger. In a way, I feel bad for the poor creature.
It's over, Avi. It's finally over.
Over? Ori, we've ended the war and saved the world. But our story's just begun.
So began the Epoch of Heathens. With the death of the Ancient Mother, there was not a plane of existence upon which the gods did not fear your name, and fear the world of Nevendar. And in the absence of the oppression of the gods, the people looked instead to you. Under your guidance, the world would heal. Nevendar would become what you'd promised to make it. One of freedom, one of heart, and one of liberation. Years pass. Nevendar is slow to change, but you are patient. And through that patience, you would come to see a new world born. Mortis would be the first god to fall, the ancient Zudolariete II. There would be more. Many, many more. The Epoch of Heathens would be a time of relative peace for Nevendar, but across the celestial plains, fear and panic would spread. The Liberator was coming for the Immortals, and she would have her victory. But that is a tale for another time.